Our number one objective as network marketing leaders is to replace ourselves. Think about it. Do you want to be the one forever creating the tools? I know creating tools to me is like sucking the oxygen out of my blood. I cannot stand creating tools because the script and creating the scripts to create the tools takes a lot of time. It takes tons of focus. And I absolutely have to shut everything else down because if I get distracted, I have to start all over again with the train of thought, and it can take me days. Well, it will take days to write a script. I absolutely hate creating tools. Right. So why would I want to do that for the rest of my network marketing career? Hey, 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 what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Freedom Factory podcast. I'm excited to be here with you guys again this week. We are up and running in the year 2025. It's funny, I did some video this week, and I think I was saying 2026. We're not there yet. It will be there fast enough, right? But I hope everything's been going good for you guys so far this year. It's a new year, but hey, it's time to get things going, right? And time to accomplish some goals for this year. And I picked a topic today that I enjoy talking about because I've lived both sides of this conversation. And it's about your organization and about creating leadership in your organization. And early on, I was told I've got a few mentors in this business, and maybe you'll get to meet some of them soon. Maybe this year we'll have them on the podcast. We've already had a few here that have been mentors to me, but um, I was told that your downline is always right. Now, whenever you say the word always, right away you should kind of raise an eyebrow to that because almost nothing is always or every time. There's always different circumstances. There's just different things, right? It's nothing that's like always going to happen with certainty, maybe in some cases. But anyway, your downline is always right, is what I was told. And so obviously I had a lot of questions about that because I knew that for sure your downline is not always right. In fact, they're wrong more than they're right. And it's not because of lack of intelligence or desire. It's mainly because of lack of experience, lack of being around the block and going through things and learning through experience. But what he was really saying is don't clip the wings of someone that's wanting to jump out of the nest. That's what he was really saying. Like, we want leaders to fly. We want people to take off in our business. And if you won't let them fly, then you're going to have a problem. Right. So there's a number of things that are going to happen inside your organization. Once it starts to grow, once you start to get a team, you're going to start to get people that come to you and go, hey, that video we're using, can we use a different video? Or I don't like that video. It's old. Or hey, that video, it's too long. Like, it's no one listens for 90 seconds anymore. Being a little facetious. But you do have to be conscious on time, but you're going to start getting people that give you their opinions about your tools. And typically they're blaming the tool for their lack of activity. In other words, their group's not growing, they're not hitting the goals they want. So obviously it's not their fault. It has to be someone else's fault. It has to be something else that's going on. So they'll start pointing fingers. One thing you're going to start getting is like your tools, the things that you're using to grow your team. Okay. Or it could be your PowerPoint. Hey, could you put this in the PowerPoint? Or I like this slide that is over here. Or could we Could we talk a little bit less about this and more about this? Right. So people are going to talk about your PowerPoints if you're using PowerPoints online or if you got bigger group meetings. Here's one I think's funny because I've lived this one for sure. Hey, I know you're coming over to do the meeting this week, and I've got so and so coming over, and they really just want to learn about the products. They really don't. I really don't want you talking about the business. They're not really too hip on the business. Could we just talk about the products this week? Right? If you haven't got that yet, you haven't done enough presentations. You're going to get that. That one's coming. Or even the location of the events. Like, hey, I'd like to be able to invite some more successful business people to our meetings, and I don't want to invite them to a home. Can we get a hotel? Can we get a nice place where we can really do a nice event, and invite some of those people to those really nice plush places? You're going to get that as well. So I'm just giving you a few examples of some of the things you're going to get. I've got them. I had to learn through experience in how to handle these things. But our number one objective as network marketing leaders is to replace ourselves. Think about it. Do you want to be the one forever creating the tools? I know creating tools to me is like sucking the oxygen out of my blood. I cannot stand creating tools because the script and creating the scripts to create the tools takes a lot of time. It takes tons of focus. And I absolutely have to shut everything else down because if I get distracted, I have to start all over again with the train of thought, and it can take me days. Well, it will take days to write a script. I absolutely hate creating tools. Right. So why would I want to do that for the rest of my network marketing career? I don't. I want my team to start making their own tools. I want my leaders to start making their own tools. Or do you want to be the one making PowerPoints forever? Or would you like someone else to do that? Or presentations? Like, seriously, if you think you have to be the one that does the presentations to get the results, to get the team to grow, then you are sadly mistaken for how this business works. This business is not about you doing everything for the team. This is about you empowering lots of people to do simple things so that it can multiply. Okay. So having other people do the presentations is the whole I used to run myself ragged doing presentations all hours of the day and night, and I just won't do it anymore. I will make myself available every week. In fact, I enjoy being active every week in the field, live presentations, Zoom presentations. I love being active in the field. It keeps me sharp. And honestly, I think it's where some of my abilities can show is when I'm in front of a group of people, reading people. Even on a Zoom, I can read people. Right now, I can't because this is obviously just me talking to the camera. But I love the live aspect of our business, so I will enjoy doing it. But I certainly don't want to do it every night of my life, and I don't want to do it multiple times a day. And so, and what about other time zones in other countries? Like, don't you want a business in other time zones and other countries that don't speak your language? Like, one of my earliest like network marketing fantasies was that I would be in a room full of people. The entire room was in my organization, in my downline, and they were speaking a different language. And I've got to do that. We got to do that multiple times in Puerto Rico, but I just vividly remember this in Spain in 2019. It was amazing. Over 100 people in the room, um, energy high, everybody in the room in our organization, and I didn't understand much of anything that was being said. That's because I had leaders that had stepped up. I let their wings strengthen, and we had them get out of the nest and they're doing presentations, right? So that's what this podcast is about this week is helping you grow leadership. And remember this again, your downline is always right. Okay. So let me kind of take you through this. You need to get them, I'm going to take you through four things. You need to get them involved early in the projects. Okay. You don't want to wait until they come to you to give you ideas. You want to go to them as early as you can and get them involved in the projects. If you know it's time for a new tool, and let me give you a hint, they start telling you about other teams and the tools they're using and that they like this one for that and this one for that. And that's a hint. Okay, there's smoke there. There's a fire, right? So where there's smoke, there's a fire. And so get them involved early in the tool. So if it's time to make some new tools, invite them into the script creation process. Hey, what do you think this thing needs to look like? What's the message we need to tell? And have them physically get in the room with you. You guys go get some lunch, get some coffee, do a day, get on Zoom, block out the time so that they can see what's involved. Because saying you need something is one thing, producing it is a completely different monster. All right. And so you guys listen, in all these things, what we don't want, I'll kind of circle back to this in a little bit. What you don't want is to someone get frustrated with you not letting them lead, and they leave your team, go to another company, another opportunity, only to find out then that it was more work than they thought. You want them to find out it was more work than they thought while they're in your organization. Okay. So get them involved in producing the next PowerPoint. Get their opinions, because I can tell you their buy-in is critical. You get them involved in the next set of tools or the next presentation, and you will get their buy-in. And all of a sudden, listen, all of this is usually because a prospect has come to them or a really, really, really new distributor or business partner has come to them and put this bug in their ear. And now they're just repeating it to you. They don't really like, they could go either way, but it's because it's their new consultant they're concerned about, or their new business partner saying, oh, I really don't like this video, or the video's too long, or the presentation's this, or the location. They're just going to turn around and repeat that to you. Okay. If you get them involved in the process, like what I'm sharing with you guys is so good. This is so good, guys. You'll get their buy-in. And then when that person comes to them and tells them this stuff, they're going to be able to probably squash that instead of it even coming to you. They'll be able to explain why, right? Like children will ask why until you satisfy that. And new distributors or even somewhat successful distributors are going to be the same way. They just want to know why you're doing things the way you're doing them. Okay. So have them involved in the projects early. Have them come set up for the meetings. Like have them start by getting to the meeting when you get there. If you're doing live meetings, have them come set up the AV equipment, then the video equipment. Have them go through all that where you want to pull your hair out because the computer isn't working or what someone said they were going to bring, they didn't bring, and someone's got to run, get this, and you're ad-libbing. Have them a part of all that stuff behind the scenes so that they can A, have more appreciation for what you do, and B, start to learn of what it takes to pull these type events off. If it's not a live event, maybe it's on Zoom. Do you know how many people on your team don't know how to host a Zoom event? Don't know, like they just, right? If the event's at 8 o'clock, they just slide right in at 8:05 or, 5 seconds after, or 10, 15 seconds after, right when everything's getting going. They're not there ahead of time, setting things up, muting people, getting the technical stuff. Have them do that. Have these new people that have these ideas, have them come in and help you set up the Zooms, set up the live meetings. Okay. You just, whether it's the Zooms or the presentation, you just want to get their buy-in. All right. When it comes to locations of events, one of the things that I used to do and still do to this day, it's two things you can do. Number one, if they don't like the location, give them the assignment to go find the new location. Okay. That's one thing. Then once they find it, I mean, have them negotiate the price and everything. And depending on who they are and at what level of experience, have them put their credit card down on the event instead of you, and watch how that changes the conversation. Because I'm going to tell you, for years, I got this like, can we go here? Can we do that? Can we do this? And when I started asking them to find it, because of the endless phone calls and the contracts and people not getting back with you and all that stuff, when they found out how expensive it was, they didn't want to put it on their credit card because of the pressure. Okay. And so we want people to experience these obstacles while they are in our organization. This is how you create leadership. And guys, listen, either way, you're going to win. When you have this attitude that your downline is always right, either way, you're going to win. What I mean by either way is they are either going to go out and do this new idea and it's going to work. Now, if it works, fantastic. What you've got is a successful, talented, smart person, business partner, and you can learn from them. You win. You've got someone in your team that goes out and does something and it works and duplicates long term. You win. You win. If they go out and it fails miserably, but you supported them, you gave them a pat on the back, you gave them all the support that you could possibly give them, and it fails, at least they know that they can come back to you and you're not going to say, I told you so. You're not going to make them feel bad about it. In fact, now they're going to come back to you and probably be a little more humble and more coachable. And that coachability, guys, coachability is maybe one of the most important things you should be looking for in your new leaders that you're working with. Because someone that's not coachable, oh man, it just takes a long time for them to figure things out. If they're coachable, well, you can get them to their goals, to their next rank advancement or whatever they're trying to achieve. If they're coachable, you can get them there faster, right? So either way, you're going to win. Either they're right and you can learn from them, or they're wrong and they're going to come back to you as a better, more humble, more coachable student so that you can help them get to their goals faster. All right. Because here at the end of the day, our goal is not to have followers. Our goal is to have leaders in our team. You don't want a team full of followers. And to find out if you do have a team full of followers, you should be asking yourself, how many people do I have on my team helping me build tools, helping me set up events, doing presentations, doing all the things I do? How many people on my team are doing all the things I do at some level? And if the answer is zero, you don't have any leaders. The word leader gets used so loosely. You have no leaders. If you're doing everything, you got no leaders. That's why you need to get them involved slowly but surely in the process so that they become leaders doing what you do. When you've got someone doing practically everything you do, then you've got a leader. Okay. Until then, you've just got a leader in the making. All right. But most importantly, guys, have a strategy. That's what this podcast episode is about, is having a strategy for leadership development. Personally in our organization, we have a weekly Zoom with some of my leaders, not all of the leaders, but some of the leaders, where we talk through scenarios, we talk through issues, we talk through the tools, we talk through all these things so that they can get a real vision for why we're doing things the way we're doing it. Remember, we just had podcasts on why. Well, your team leaders need to know why the tools are the way they are and why the locations and all that stuff. It helps. It helps in their understanding. So have a strategy for that. So we have weekly communication. I also do an event in my hometown and I bring them into my home once a year. We actually call it Castaway with the Cunninghams. And it's a multifaceted event. Some is open to all people and all teams Other parts of that event are just for my top end leaders, that we spend time together. We break bread together. There's a whole purpose and strategy behind that. So have a strategy, guys. That's all I'm saying, because at the end of the day, that's what this business is. It's not about selling the product and the services 100%. It's about creating leadership that can help people sell those products and those services. That's what this is about. So just remember, when your downline comes to you with this next great idea, just remember they are always right. Okay. You guys might have to listen to this podcast a few times to get it and let it sink in. I hope you do. But this one, I'm telling you, will put you in a much better place at the end of this year than you are right now if you will apply these things and get it done. Become like a factory of leaders, right? Where this is the Freedom Factory, you should also be trying to be creating leader factories. That's what you guys should have. So thank you for this week. It was fun putting this together. I didn't hardly need my notes, because this is a topic I love talking about. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please, guys, if you love the podcast, let me know in social media. Take some screenshots of the podcast, put it out there, tag us. I'd love to give you some love on that. And we're going to be giving some more stuff away this year, like we did last year for the podcast. So as you're doing that, we'll grab those names and we'll give some stuff out. So you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.